All right. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to greet you all here today. Дамы и господа, рад приветствовать. But because we have several English-speaking, only English-speaking, non-Russian speaking students, potential students, I shall stick to English. So just in case, we shall start briefly, just in a couple of minutes, because usually people need some time to join Zoom, get some cup of tea, coffee, whatever. So let's give a small room for them to join, and we shall start the discussion. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I will go through them, or later, if you need, we can speak orally as well, because it's not crowded in here, so it would be completely fine. And I guess I even see some familiar names. I see we still have students joining. Yeah, I see people are still joining, just in case. For the newcomers, if you've got any questions before I start, there is a chat. You can leave your questions in there. I will try to cover them. All right. I guess the majority of the audience is already here, so I'm glad to greet you all here today. Today, I guess only me will be here with you speaking along with Anastasia, but Vladislav will not join. So my name is Vladislav Nechev. I'm author of the MSAI program, PhD, professor at MIPT, MSU, and several other technical and just general universities. And I'm here, first of all, to answer to your questions on the program and give you some brief understanding what it would be, and maybe give some hints what to expect, what not to expect. Just in case, from bottom up, I have no goal either to grab you all and take to the program, or just tell you that we don't, or just make it too complex. I mean, the admission process. My main goal is to help you find whether the program is a good match for you, and you will be willingly invest in 2 years of your lifetime into the education, so you can later use it and get some meaningful outcomes from the educational process. So just in case, I guess you all already know that MSAI is 2-year online, fully English taught master's program focused on artificial intelligence, as it comes from the name. And its main difference from some other programs, I would say, is that it's rather local. Small, by it I mean that we prefer groups up to 30 people, usually 30 students. We usually don't get admitted much more. And because of that, we can pay personal attention to every student. Of course, it's important if student is actively engaged in the problem. just in case it's a master's program, so we're not running around every student asking every day how you're doing, but we look at the academical results, at the activity on the classes where you join the classes or you just watch the recordings. So we try to give you all the feedback and interactive part of the education you can get in the online format. Yes, the program is fully online. You technically can study at MIPT without any, I don't know, meetings. You can study at MIPT, not go into MIPT at all. Through the 2 years, you can send some documents and get your diploma back via post as well. We got such students as well. But of course, if you are somewhere around Moscow for some reason, we usually perform some on-site meetings as well for our students and graduates, because usually it's quite a good idea to meet with people offline if you can afford it. I mean, technically you're somewhere in the same place. But otherwise, we hold some online meetings as well, because the education process is not only about education itself, but it's also about community, because I guess you know that most of the top universities around the world deliver not only great education, but also great community, which can be really effective if you start some new projects, if you look for a job, if you look for some recommendation, and so on. So briefly about the program once again. Oh, and I see more familiar faces in the call. So the program in general is focused on a long day, a lot of meetings. The program is mostly focused on building a thorough foundation in mathematics, programming, algorithms for the AI, because if you want to be proficient in the AI field, which is rapidly evolving all the last years, I guess you see what's going on around this AI hype, and to deeply understand what is going on, how do the methods works, what they can do, what they especially important cannot do, you need to understand the background of these models, and that's actually mathematics. Of course, we're not going to dive deep into some functional analysis, topology, and so on. While these topics are really interesting, it's not our goal as a program, and it's not our goal today. We focus on some applied, if I can say, stuff, but still we go deeper into the optimization, into the probability theory, linear algebra, into programming, because you need to be able to build software if you want to use these AI methods, because still they're part of the software. And algorithms, especially because it just makes the mind work better, and it also helps you to pass some interviews in top AI companies. And I guess everybody would agree that it's at least great opportunity, even if you never use it. So the program focuses in the first semester on this background and foundation in mathematics and programming, and that's completely fine. Second semester is focused on some applied machine learning or AI stuff, like machine learning course, the central course in the whole program. Recommender systems, software development, applied statistics and data analysis. So all the stuff you need in daily work. If you work at some IT company, if you're an analyst, ML engineer, ML scientist, AI engineer, all these names are a little bit different, but they all mean the same. You know how to work with data, you know how to work with code, and you deliver some results to the company or to your own startup if you wish. But I guess if you are doing that to your own startup, you better focus on the business stuff and hire people who can do the technical stuff, because otherwise it might be not enough time for everything. And the third semester is focused on the cutting edge results in the AI field. Of course, to get to the cutting edge, first you need to get all the recent results. So we speak about computer vision, natural language processing, reinforced learning, and ML ops, machine learning operations, or how to deliver and deploy all the stuff. So it's not just somewhere in your laptop, but actually it's a service which can hold like hundreds of users simultaneously, if you have enough hardware, of course. So you get some working solution with which you can even, I don't know, apply to some accelerators and so on. But otherwise, all these 3 semesters are focused on building background and the foundation, first in the theoretical part, mathematics, optimization, and so on. Then in the applied part, so you get used to working with data, and then with the cutting edge part, using the last results in the field. The first semester, we have 2-year program, is mostly focused on the diploma, because at MIPT, along with, I guess, majority of Russian universities, you must finish your thesis before you graduate, and thesis is actually some big project which will take like hundreds, of hours of your time, at least 100, maybe more, and which shows what you can do actually in the field working on your own, and that's completely fine to select any topic which is okay, which is, I don't know, okay for you and for your TC advisor, but which is really interesting to you, because if you're not interested in that topic, it's really not a good idea to use your lifetime to work on something you don't like. So it's the main outline of the program. Of course, you could read it in the post on the website and so on, but I tried to highlight some main ideas once again, because maybe it's a little bit convenient to hear them. So once again, I guess I didn't understand well. It was online and in person. It is fully online program. So all communication is online actually via Zoom calls or pre-recorded lessons or home assignments and so on. So no in-person attendance is required. But of course, if you want to come in person, you can do that. Because if the student gets admitted to MIPT, the one is simply normal MIPT student with regular ID card who can access MIPT campus, who can access other courses and so on. Of course, other courses will be taught in Russian, so it might be not useful for non-Russian speakers, but otherwise it's a regular program, but all the classes, thesis defense and everything is purely online. How many applications per place do we have? Usually around 2, but once again, it's not like a competitive story, because we make an interview with every applicant, and on the interview, usually it's just obvious whether the program will be a good idea for the applicant or no. So we don't block or just force potential student to join the program, but usually we can see whether the program meets the expectations of the student and the background of the one is good enough. By good enough, I mean the program won't be too complex or not. So it's kind of fun. What about exams in this program? It's in person, online. Everything is online, as well as the exams. For example, the first exam day was, I guess, on July 26 or 25. Anastasia, please fix my mistakes if there are some. So just last week was the first exam. So it's just a Zoom call where we ask you to turn on your video, so we just see that you're not speaking with someone. You're free to use some textbooks. We do not want you to use some ChatGPT or other online stuff, because, okay, modern AI systems can solve the majority of the exams easily, but the main goal of the exam not to just filter out everybody who doesn't know how to take an integral, but to get understanding of the general level on the input. So the exam usually includes 10 different problems from different areas of mathematics, and it's fine to solve only part of them, like 3 or 4 problems is completely fine, because our main goal is to see whether you have some background in the field or you don't have any, because if you don't have any, it might be really tricky. And the exam actually includes 3 parts. First one is a mathematical exam. I already told about it. Then it's a programming contest. So you get a link and you can solve the programming contest anytime you wish during 2 days after you get the link, 48 hours or so. Okay, not 48, maybe 36, like from the middle of Saturday till the end of Sunday. As soon as you start the contest, you have 2.5 hours to solve it, but before you start, you can select the appropriate time. And one moment, sorry. Final part is the interview, where you just ask any questions from us and we ask any questions we want from you to see that we're a good match. Once again, there is no goal to get everyone on the program, just to, I don't know, get more students. And there is no goal to restrict someone from the program if one really believes that it will work out for one. But of course, we'll take into account the result, because if student is completely not prepared, then I guess it will be really tricky. I mean, not exams to get to this program, but during next 2 years of studying in this program. Yeah, exams are also mostly oral, and they take their main format is Zoom call. So you usually have a small interview on the subject with the teacher, one-on-one. So just regular online interview, but on some specific subject. How much is the fee per semester? Okay, per semester, it's like 400 rubles, I guess. I need to check something like, but around there. So around 4 to 5 thousands of US currency if it's more appropriate. Do we have discounts for academic performance? Unfortunately, right now, I guess no, because it's a fully online English taught program and MIPT does not provide it. But there are some hints how to get a loan with a lower interest rate from the government and so on. We can highlight them as well. But unfortunately, to make it sound correct, I am really fond of open education at all and in general, but this program is fully paid because it's online in English and Russian government does not fund it. You think the fee is just too high? Sorry, I actually completely agree with you, but unfortunately, that's not us who sets the fee. So there are some ways to lower it by working with Россотрудничество. I don't know how it's called in English. So some Russian program for international students, or there are some loans, but unfortunately, MIPT just puts this price every year higher and higher, and we just try to make the program worth it. But of course, it's not that convenient. Okay, so if we stay in Russia and want to be present in classes, there are no classes to go. Yeah, this program has no on-site classes because it's fully online by design. It was designed for people to work and study at the same time. But if you want to join some other classes at MIPT, being an MIPT student, you can do that, of course. But this program just has no on-site classes at all. Okay, any other questions? Do we submit fee after our entrance? Of course, you first follow the entrance exams, follow the interview, make your decision, final, sign the papers, and only then you are required to submit the fee. So, of course, nobody is taking any money before you get admitted. It would be kind of not fair, I would say. What about dormitory? Because the program is fully online, it does not provide dormitory. So, unfortunately, nope. Do we have organized meetings with employees, employers, as well as some streamlined internship options? So we don't have guaranteed work positions for the students because every time it is a decision of the employer and the potential employee, but we do forward our good students. So the students we think that have good academic performance to our, I would say, not partner, but friend companies like Russian IT companies or international IT companies. And usually our students start working in some related companies in the domain after the first year because they have enough background. But unfortunately, something like you are guaranteed to get an internship at Yandex or Sber, nope, because you still need to pass the interview, you still need to be better than the other contestants if there is a limited number of places. Sorry, I missed. Could you please repeat the fee? So for semester it's like 400,000. For year it's 800,000. So quite a lot. You can check it on the website, just not to listen to my words because it's much easier to see them written. So here is the link. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a link, but you still can copy it. So can we get RVPO with this program? I have no idea what is that abbreviation. If you elaborate, it would be easier to follow. Okay, while I'm waiting for the rest of the questions, a couple of more, I guess, interesting comments. So I've heard several requests of the interaction with our graduates, and it would be a great idea, but I guess it wouldn't be that efficient to run additional call on that. Instead of the call, I guess we can invite them to the MSAI admission chat, just where you all, I guess, are already. And you can just ask them some questions so you can interact with the graduates directly, not through us, to see how it works under the hood. So you mean some permission to live in Russia. So I guess we need to check that because formally speaking, it should be provided because you are, if you get admitted, you are a student of MIPT, but we need to check it. Anastasia, please write it down. We shall check it with the admission committee to be sure and we'll reach you out back in the chat. Can you tell us more about the thesis? What does it look like if the program is online? Does it need to be done during an internship at some company? No, it's not required to work at some company at all. Thesis is usually some project, either research-oriented, applied, or somewhere in between, which where you work on some problem. We actually guide you step by step, and you achieve some intermediate and final results, present them, and so on. We can share the link to the previous year defense. I guess it should be available online. So usually it's just a thesis work like in any other Russian university, but with some, I would say, focus on the result because sometimes the theses are just formal papers. We try to work with every student. Of course, not everyone finishes with a good thesis, but at least good enough is required to graduate. So this year, I guess we had only 2 or 3 excellent marks for the final defense, despite we had like 11 or 12 graduates. So something like that. But of course, if you work at some company, you can take your work problem as a thesis, task as a thesis subject if you want to select it. But yeah, then you need to be sure that you will stay in the company till the graduation, because I've seen such stations where students like had their work project as a thesis, then they finished working at that company and had a big problem to defend something they cannot work anymore on. Is Anastasia a faculty member? Just curious. Yep. And what's the question? She's my colleague. Thank you. RVPO is very important to me. Yeah, we'll check it and provide you the information. Okay, so what I wanted to add, I already said about our grades. Okay, maybe you have some other questions on the topic because, okay, this call is mostly for interaction with you because otherwise all the stuff is written down. We have frequent last questions or the program website and so on. So if there are any of them, I am all yours. If you want to interact orally, you are also free because it's not crowded in here. How can you find the supervisor? Actually, usually it happens if you interact with your professors, teachers during the education, because majority of the thesis advisors, supervisors are from the team which is delivering this program. But sometimes we reach out to our external colleagues because you can work with not only the teachers to find the person who is appropriate for the project you are willing to work. So usually we not just provide you a list of projects and you select the one. We force you first to formulate some problems you would like to work on, and then in the discussion reformulate them and find some appropriate way to create an appropriate project to work on during your thesis and to find some appropriate advisor. So usually it's made personally in every case. So it's not some just pipeline where you follow it step by step. Actually, there is pipeline, but of course it requires your and our engagement. And actually, in many cases, the thesis can be then posted, submitted to some conference or some journal, and published as an article, paper, research paper, if it is a research-oriented stuff. What are the advantages of the program over learning with open source resources? Great question. Actually, because I already guessed. Okay, as I said, I'm fond of open source and open education. And being honest, you can, of course, study using open source materials even more, almost all the educational materials from our program are freely and openly available, because it's not the materials which actually take some time and payment and so on. It's the engagement of other teachers. It's the group dynamics, group where you work. It's the thesis. It's the final diploma. MIPT diploma is one of the strongest diplomas in Russia and acknowledged worldwide. So if you feel yourself capable of studying on the online materials, open source materials on your own, then definitely do that. So that's how I studied as well. I studied at MIPT, I studied at Yandex School of Data Analysis, but I also studied a lot using open source materials from Stanford, Berkeley, MIT, Yandex School of Data Science, Data Analysis, and many other resources. And our courses are also freely available on the MIT license, so if you wish, you can follow them as well. So it's the group interaction, teachers, and so on. Teachers' time is what requires, I guess, I don't know, payment, because teachers spend their time to the interaction, but otherwise, if you can do that, definitely do that. What level of mathematics is required and how many hours per week is the program? Great question as well. So level of the mathematics, just some general knowledge. You should remember at least somehow basics of calculus, probability theory, linear algebra, and so on. But if even there are some major issues, we still have the math refresher course, mathematics for AI formally called, but actually it's just recap of all required stuff in the mathematics from the beginning of linear algebra, convex sets, optimization, and some other stuff. It is the first course taught on the program because we understand that you need to remember all of it. But if there is completely no background in mathematics, it just might be too harsh and too complex to follow this course as well, because at least if you remember something, it's much easier if you learn it from the first time. But you can check the DEMA variant of the exam. For example, it's available in the chat. It should be available. Anastasia, please check. And see whether it's fine or not. So if you can solve 2-3 problems, it's already fine. If you can solve 0 of them, then it's kind of tricky, but still you can check it on the interview. What about the postgraduate study? Is it easy to get there in MIPT after this program? Yeah, it's definitely possible if you worked well on your thesis, because actually the main, I don't know, the main perk to have to join the postgraduate PhD is to have a recommendation from the committee for the PhD. So we have already several of our graduates on the PhD at MIPT and abroad. For example, even our first batch graduate, Karavan Durmuradov, he graduated from MIT in 2022. He has defended his PhD thesis in KAUST University, I guess, this April. So we even have PhD among our graduates. How much will be the interest cost of this program? Once again, it's shown on the site, around like 9.5 thousands of dollars. Where did the entrance exam is? Entrance exam is just another Zoom call where you join it, write down solution, submit it, then solve the contest wherever you're ready, and then you are invited to the interview. So everything is online, and you share your results just in the electronic format. How many hours per week? Yeah, so it usually takes quite a lot of time. I would say around 20 hours every week will be required from you. Of course, if you are proficient in some topics, it might be lower, like 15. If you are not proficient, it might be up to 40, because it depends on your background. But the median, according to other students who has shared their feedback, is like 20-25 hours per week. So it definitely will take some time. So it's rather complex stuff. It's not just edutainment where you go through a couple of courses and get the diploma. Okay, sorry. It's like the goal of the program to give you rather big amount of information in 3 semesters. It's really tricky, actually. Do I need to send a previous diploma to the university, or can I apply to the program through Gosuslugi without sending? I guess you're not required to send the diploma at all. It should be true from this year, because previous years it was required. But I heard information that this year copy is enough. But we need to get formal approval from the admission committee as well, because if it's not true, then it will be kind of inappropriate that I guaranteed you that you don't need it. But we will check it once again because I already requested the information informally in just personal chat. I get information that you don't need to submit your diploma, but that might be, I don't know, somebody's personal opinion, not the general idea. Okay, entrance exam cost. I guess I've answered the majority of the questions. If there are any more, please welcome. Are there any scholarship opportunities for students outside Russia? Yes, there are opportunities for scholarship for international students. It's called Россотрудничество. Have no idea, once again, how this program is called in English, sorry, because I have never seen it abroad. So it's some quote for international students from Russian government, but to apply to it, you need to do that like in September, October for the next year. So for this year, all the places are already filled. But the next year, you can try applying to it as well. Do the diploma have an international recognized image? I mean, is it good in other countries? Definitely, it's good in other countries because MIPD, I guess, along with MSU and maybe, okay, I have never heard about High School of Economics. Its diploma should be recognized as well. But I know plenty of different places around the world, top tier companies like, I don't know, Bank of America, CERN, OpenAI, and other places where MIPT diploma is well recognized, so it's definitely worth it. I mean, I have no idea about any place in the world where somebody would say that MIPT diploma is not recognized. Okay. Any other questions? Are there any scholarship opportunities for students outside Russia? I've answered it. Are later enrollees accepted? And what does it mean? If you mean if you submit your application after August 15th, nope. The last day you can submit your application is August 15th. And I highly do not recommend to keep it till the last day because, okay, the admission office is still filled with people and they just might be, I don't know, a little late, a little tired, and so on. Actually, okay. I guess it's kind of strange to highlight it here, but if somebody is looking for some similar program but located in Europe, you can reach us out as well, and I can highlight it as well. But right now, we're speaking about MSAI. Do you know any recent graduates that changed their career path after the program and landed a job outside Russia? Yep, we can try, I don't know, combining them. I mean, creating some list of them, asking them, of course, if it's okay for them to be listed in there. But actually, several people either got somewhere some job outside Russia or in Russia in top companies. So that's definitely true. Can you tell more about the additional courses that will be available through the program? For example, will courses from Yandex Data School will be available? Look, the program provides you full access to all MIT courses, but the problem is that majority of the courses are taught in Russian. So if you are not Russian speaker, you can attend them, but it won't work out. And the courses, majority of the courses are offline at MIT. But of course, you can attend all the courses if it's okay with it, if it's okay for the teacher, which are provided at MIPD. Speaking about the Yandex School of Data Analysis, okay, by default, it's different organization, so we can submit your request to the Yandex School of Data Analysis, but we cannot guarantee it because, okay, it's not part of MIPD, and it's still on their side to either accept students from other universities or no. An anonymous list of recent post-graduation employment would be nice. Okay, let's try collect it. Anastasia, please write it down because it's okay. It's quite a good idea. The results of the latest entrance exam, any info when they come out? Yep, actually, I'm checking the last exam, so I hope today or tomorrow I will finish with it, but it takes some time to go through all your writings. But till the end of the week, all the contestants should be invited to the interview, I guess even earlier, like on Thursday and Friday. Hi, I'm from Pakistan and my name is Asad. Is there any problem? Is a problem related geoinformatics? Sorry, I don't see. What do you mean by problem related geoinformatics? And how about scholarships as I can't afford expenses or write letter to Mr. Putin regarding? Okay, I guess writing to Mr. Putin is not the best variant because I'm not sure that he will answer you. But once again, there is a international student affairs channel from Russia to which you can apply, but for the next year. For this year, it was filled out like in October 2024. I think the Yandex School have the same courses for the ML engineers as you're offering. Yeah, quite similar, actually, because the majority of the programs focused on preparing high-skilled AI professionals actually teach the same stuff. Even more, last year, I read the machine learning course at Yandex School of Data Analysis. So it's quite similar. So now admissions right now are ongoing for the program, but for the scholarship, it's full for this year. It will be open for the next year, somewhere in August or September. Do you write that in the Telegram about the preparatory course in mathematics before the exam? Is it planned? Yep, actually, tomorrow we shall have the first introductory meeting and post the form to see how many students will be there, and it will be held on Thursdays on a weekly basis. Yeah, if there are any questions, please feel free. If you want to ask in oral, it's fine.
Hello.
Yep.
Hello. Yeah. So since you'll be starting the preparatory program tomorrow, is there any arrangement for the preparatory program to be on demand, like recorded, for particularly for those who would not be available
Yeah, the
in real
recordings
time
also will be available as well. So
for
it's
the
completely
or
open
even
free.
oh okay for even those who might not be able to join this cohort, right, can
Yeah,
benefit
it's
from it.
fine. This
Okay.
course is
And then
just an open course for you. So if you just want to follow the open course on basics of AI in mathematics, it's fine. You can just join it and
okay.
follow it.
Okay. And then what's the scope? Is it just programming and maths or just programming? The
Actually, we
scope of
have
the
some
prep course.
outline of the similar course, but in general, it goes through all the basics of AI in mathematics, like basics of linear algebra, probability theory, optimization, so you understand what's going on, at least in the simplest models, which are actually giving hints how the most complex models work.
Thank you.
Mhm. Welcome. So, and there is a question, is there a course related to generative adversarial networks, as they are really useful in the age of LLMs? Okay, actually, I'm not sure whether pure GANs are widely used nowadays, but of course, we speak both about GANs, about LLMs, and so on in computer vision course or in the natural language processing course, because these are, okay, LLMs are everywhere right now, and the GANs, they are quite important to understand because the concept is really great. Situation where you have learnable, trainable loss function is really important. But I would not say that it's kind of really widely used nowadays. At least I don't see it around for the last couple of years. Majority of students use the diffusion because it just delivers better results. But the discriminator idea is still widely used. Sir, do you have YouTube channel? Yep, it's called unexpectedly girafe-ai. So you can just check YouTube as well. There we have actually our open lectures freely available. So here it is. Oh, sorry. It's the link for the website. Here is the link for the YouTube channel. Is the fees for the courses ongoing, about to start, and how can we join? What do you mean by ongoing courses? If you mean joining only part of the courses of the program, no, that's not possible because the program is kind of general structure. So every next course is actually based on the previous ones. Do we have webinars or workshops in the program related to preparation for job interviews, tests, and so on? Actually, they are part of the courses, I would say, because when you, for example, follow the course and then have the final exam, it's just a mock-up interview on the topic. So we give some recommendations, but there is no some specific course there where we speak about how to get a job, because actually, if you study well, you are already in top 5%, I would say. And I saw some question on the gradation rate. So usually around like 50 to 60% of the admitted students finish the program. Yeah, we have a rather high drop rate because people just start working hard and studying hard at the same time, and not everyone is fine with it. But every year we have several students who get back to the program, like somebody dropped out from after the first year, and a couple years later they join the program on the second year. It's possible to do that and finish it. So I would say in general, like 30% of students drop out completely, 70 finishes. Another subscriber, but I think most of the videos are in Russian. Yep, there are some courses in English as well. For example, machine learning course, but because our team is mostly located in Russia and we teach at top Russian universities, majority of the stuff is in Russian, definitely. What about Insta story? I'm getting to personal. You mean Instagram account? Nope, we don't have one. Maybe it's a mistake, but we don't have it. You mean for this program? I still don't get the question, but if you mean Instagram, we still don't have it. Neither for the program, neither for the girafe-ai in general. Okay, so any questions, comments? Because I value your time. So if there are any more questions, I'm all yours. Otherwise, we are already here for 45 minutes, so it's good enough to cover the majority of the questions. So last call for the questions. You can still reach us out in the chat and we'll answer. But if you want to ask something here, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming, actually. I'm really glad that you came here. Okay, so 45 minutes. Oh, it seems that the program is focused on training, but all the hype is happening on the inference. Nope, we have MLOps as well, where we speak how to run the stuff, but actually to run it, you first need to understand how does it work. So we're not speaking only about training the models, we're speaking how do they work, because actually, honestly speaking, almost nobody can afford training their model from scratch if we're speaking about some large modern models. Usually we need to use some pre-trained models and fine-tune them for the sake of the problem we're trying to solve. How does the program help you to create your LLM startup? Okay, you get rather good background in all this LLM stuff. You can find a co-founder, you can use community to find some, I don't know, initial investments from MIT graduates, because actually we even one of the last year graduates 2024 batch, okay, he graduated in 2024, was actually from the venture capital fund, so you can reach him out. But of course, to run a successful startup, you need to not only be very, you need not only to have excellent preparation, but you need to be lucky as well, because you see how startups work. You usually don't control half of the stuff. It just depends on your luck. But of course, you need to be well prepared, and we can provide it. Regarding the topic about doing two masters at the same time at MIT, I could not find information about which courses don't match, meaning courses that are not allowed to do it at the same time. Actually, I guess there is no problem with having two masters at the same time, except that you still will be required to attend the courses, and it might be tricky. But last year we had a student who was studying both at on-site and online program, and she dropped from the on-site program after the first year, I guess, because formally she needed to attend all the oral courses as well, but she was abroad, so it was not an option. But still, technically you can do that, but you still need to follow both programs at the same time, I guess. Some courses can be reused. I mean, if you finish, for example, machine learning and you have it in both programs, we will take that into account. But if you have like different courses, you can need to pass them both. All right. So if there is, and it is possible to combine the thesis, I guess it should be possible, but I have never seen such an example, but it should be possible, because having two different theses at the same time seems like strange to me. So I guess it would be fine. All right. So thank you for your time. Thank you for attending the call, and hope to see you soon. Good luck.